It was so hot that my sweat evaporated the instant it left my pores. Thankfully, I was hunkered down in the shade at a cafe, which meant the temperature was closer to surface of a fired-up barbecue. I could handle that for now. Sitting across from me at our small table was Miriam Baker, an affable woman in her 60s with sun-bleached hair and a perfect tan. These days, she worked part-time managing the mini-golf and arcade establishment adjoining the cafe. But before that, she'd been a middle school teacher. And she was the reason I'd flown over 1,000 miles to bake in the unrelenting desert heat. "It's so strange to hear you call him that," she said with a shake of her head. I shrugged. It's his name. "We always used to call him Benjamin, or even Benny." "Benny Cade," I snorted. It makes him sound like a late-night talk show host from the 70s. Miriam's amusement only lasted a second before her mouth flattened. "What kind of investigator are you, Mr. Morris? I don't understand why anyone would come all the way down here from Canada just to talk to me about a former student from 30 years ago." On the surface, that was a perfectly reasonable question. She didn't know that her former student had grown up to be a terrifying, bloodthirsty assassin for a corrupt shadow organization with its influence running deep in the globe's secret magic community. And I wasn't going to fill her in on that little tidbit. "I'm a private investigator," I fibbed. She pursed her lips, unconvinced. "I tried looking you up online. I couldn't find anything." Emphasis on private. "Benjamin is involved in your investigation?" He was the investigation. After Cade had murdered Soze and disappeared on a black helicopter, he'd become our precinct's enemy numero uno. Captain Blythe, once she'd recovered from his attempt on her life, had given me carte blanche to hunt the bastard down. My investigation hadn't exactly been fruitful. MPD records on Cade were limited, and his personal history outside our agency was even harder to uncover. All I'd managed to discover was that he'd grown up in the Florence area and attended a mundane middle school called West Hills where Miriam had worked.